right, welcome to a new
wow.
episode of All Sorts of Sports. I love starting off like this because we didn't get a song. So
All sorts of sports.
I've never had the countdown come that suddenly. I didn't know what to do.
He was taken aback.
This is not like a good week for me, so like we just gonna like. I just want to move through this shit.
Why not? I mean, I know for me, both my fantasy teams won. I came in first place in picks, or at least tied for first place. You know, my football team's on a winning streak. Why isn't your week great, James?
Just saying.
Fuck it. All right, whatever. Is a thing. I was too fucking excited. The Raiders are fucking terrible right now. We got our ass kicked in on a 1:00 game, but I appreciate them because I didn't have to like wait. Like I knew my day was gonna be shitty from the jump. They didn't like, you know, they didn't like keep the shit close. I knew it was an ass whooping from start to finish.
They give you false hope.
I was like, yeah, pop the gummy, said fuck the rest of the game. That shit was painless, bro. But now the pain is coming full circle because here I am.
Quick question, pop another gummy. You got to chase it.
I was looking for him, bro. I legit was looking for him.
Don't let those feelings actually come over you. You gotta find something to block it. Booze, drugs.
This isn't a topic.
Gummies.
Question, because it'll transition to our real like next topic. Did you want them to make a move at all during before trade deadline?
Us? I mean, shit. If we if we thought we had a fucking chance, yeah. But I mean, we stood pat, which is kind of weird. I mean, we're not gonna talk about this really, so I'll say it now. If we cut Carr at the end of the year, they said we'll save like 110 million, and then from there you can go ahead and get that rookie QB in. We got other pieces, but I don't know what the fuck to do with his team right now. I'm just disappointed.
I will say I think you guys are gonna come on stronger a little bit at the end of the year. And I don't know what that means in terms of like record. I just think you guys will play better. I think this Sunday was an outlier because you've been better offensively than you were. And
we scored 0.
Yeah, what's the bar?
Like we could be worse.
And what direction are we going in?
Fam, look. Here's the worst stat for me. We didn't cross the 50 the whole game until garbage time, the last drive of the game, and we barely got there. And then we could have kicked the field goal for 3, but it was like, nah, let's go for it. And then we end up with 0. This is the first time we've been shut out in 8 years. This is bad.
Oh, that's a surprising stat.
Yeah, this is just bad.
Why is it surprising? Because you thought they'd been shut out before?
Absolutely.
Oh, no. We scored points. I mean, let's check and see the last time y'all got shut out.
Why does it always got to be the whataboutism, man? Why?
Well, no, just let me eviscerate my team, okay. And then you can come in and talk about how good your team is doing.
I got you, bro. That's all I got.
You're throwing.
I don't want company today. Misery loves company, but I don't want company today. I just want to be miserable myself. All y'all won.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
This shit is just bad, bro.
I didn't want to stay here because I don't want to dwell. I really don't want to dwell on this.
Can I get an index?
Chandler Jones number fucking 0.5 sacks.
Brother, we gonna move my brother.
What's his name? Who did we trade? What's his name that we traded? That y'all had him first.
Ryan, please.
Fuck's sake, man.
Mute them both so I can transition.
He's a
all right. So, all right. I didn't want to get stuck on that because I know our viewers like the Raiders, but not that much.
I was wrong.
I appreciate that. And so moving on.
Validation. Helping with the shadow drama.
Please, I'm trying to get through this.
I booked my tickets to Vegas. I booked my tickets to Vegas. I'm trying to see my struggling team this year.
You don't let yourself on fire.
I ain't doing that.
On some real shit.
Somebody did that though.
Next year we should all go to Vegas, but let's not talking about it right now.
We got things to talk about.
Yeah, NFL trade deadline deal, right? Trade deadline day was crazy. It was a record day in terms of deals. A record number of trades happened. 10. We probably won't get to all of them. We'll get to some of the more high profile ones. But I kind of want to start with my team because they started before trade deadline day. It wasn't a part of trade deadline day. It started like Monday, I believe. Monday. We got news of it. But the Ravens acquired Roquan Smith from the Bears for a 2nd round pick, a 5th round pick, and AJ Klein, who's a serviceable linebacker. And so I just want you guys' thoughts, and then I
have questions. What does this mean for Patrick Queen?
So he's going to play next to Patrick Queen.
That's awesome. Okay.
Hey, yes. Who leads the NFL in tackles over the last 2 years?
Roquan Smith.
Oh, okay. I don't have any more questions.
So what does that do for Patrick Queen?
That unleashes him because, so Patrick Queen has gotten better this year. I'll be honest. He's gotten better, but he's not like a Ray Lewis level. He's not an all-pro Roquan Smith type of player. He's like solid. He's gotten better in terms of pass coverage this year. Like his PFF grade these last few weeks has been pretty good. Where he struggles sometimes is if he has to think about things. Like if we send him on a blitz or like we put him in pass coverage, he's pretty decent. But I think this frees him up to do like the other shit. Like, all right, we can blitz him, or we can like, hey, just play the run, or you're covering the tight end on this play. This is all you're doing. If we give him one single job, he'll be fine. And Roquan Smith can do literally everything else. He's the best linebacker in pass coverage, I believe, in the league. I could be wrong, but I think the PFF grade has him number 1, but I could be off. And he's also good rushing the passer if we decide to use him that, because of the way our defense is very multiple. Like he could do, like, we can have him dropping back in coverage. We can have him rushing the passer, just playing the run. It's going to help us just from a play the run perspective. And that's when you're talking about coming up against those Tennessee Titans, the Derrick Henrys. You're playing, like, I know the Bills don't have like a great running game, but I think it's more so useful when you could have like Patrick Queen or Roquan Smith spy Josh Allen than using a safety on a Josh Allen. And I think that's much more better in terms of, like, when we played them earlier this year, there were a lot of missed tackles on him. And I don't think Roquan Smith is going to miss those tackles.
Well, that, and if you have a safety on a spy, what's going to happen is he's going to draw the spy in and
over the top, right?
Just right over the top of you. So
exactly. And so this gives us a lot more versatility. I love the fit. I can't wait to see how this works out with this. Marcus Williams is on IR right now. He'll come back, get him healthy towards the end of the year. The Ravens will have one of the more exciting defenses. We'll be right up there with Buffalo, I think, come playoff time. Talent on the defensive end.
Hey, you said Pat Queen isn't a Ray Lewis. Can you tell me who the last player to lead the league in tackles for 2 straight seasons was?
Ray Lewis.
Okay. All right. No more questions.
Who's wearing the green dot?
Chuck Clark has been doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, safety's been doing it. Chuck Clark's been doing it. Patrick Queen, that's what I'm saying. You're not that guy.
Okay.
You're not that guy.
All right.
You said Patrick Queen was ranked in coverage, or were you saying about Roquan?
Patrick Queen has gotten better in terms of his rank in coverage, but Roquan, I believe, is ranked as the number 1 linebacker in coverage. I could be off on that, but I know he's one of the best at a minimum. But Patrick Queen has gotten better in terms of his grade the last few weeks. He's gotten like, a couple 67s, 68, 69s, 75, 77s, stuff like that.
Got it. So I just, the reason I kept looking over to my left is that I wanted to see the Raiders offensive line ranking in PFF. So I bought a membership because apparently mine lapsed. So I'm using PFF.
This man spending money to hate.
Jesus. Yes, absolutely. $10. We're good to go.
That's fine.
I'm
trying not to sound like the bitter bitch.
I'd also say,
damn, bro. Everybody else is doing successful shit, and I'm over here struggling.
Well, you're not alone. You're not alone for a second. Patrick Queen is not ranked in the top 50 as far as coverage, and Roquan Smith is worse. 10 points worse.
I will look it up. Hold on. Well, you're just talking about coverage in total.
Yeah, I'm talking about coverage overall.
I'm just talking about linebackers because
I'm talking about linebackers. It's linebacker coverage. He's not in the top 50.
That can't be accurate because of what I read. But
accurate.
Like the Anthony Walker for Cleveland.
who only played 3 games as top in coverage. But whatevs.
3 games.
3 games is not a season make, my friend.
Does
Yeah,
not.
is there like a minimum? It must be like a minimum
not
of
to
like,
these guys. Not to these guys. They need to do a better job as far as PFF for you to get some
No,
of
that's
the
what I'm saying.
information.
So
I'm sure it's like a minimum of like certain number of
I've seen that like
snaps.
they'll introduce the caveat. They'll be like,
Mhm.
okay, Patrick Queen is ranked 12th amongst linebackers in coverage.
minimum of 150.
Yeah,
what it is,
some shit
Roquan
like that.
Smith's coverage grade is 44.4.
I might be.
It's not good.
I have to sift through my likes and.
But the thing is that the thing about Patrick Queen is that he's just it's kind of like we said. He even coming out of college, he was supposed to be like that instinctual player, right?
Yeah.
So the idea that you have somebody that can actually, I mean, what does Roquan Smith do better than anything else? Ryan, what is it that he leads the league in?
I believe it's tackles.
Got it. So it's a guy that makes those tackles. So if it means you got somebody that can cover a certain portion of the field and you ain't got to worry about it, that you then have another linebacker that can do more freelancing, do more instinctual stuff. I love that Baltimore team. There's so many things that they're adding to it that I find really, really interesting.
Are you going to come to the
Must
dark
be
side?
nice.
Does that mean-
Tackles.
No, I'm from Washington, D.C., so no matter what I do, I can never root for a Baltimore team. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, because Baltimore club music is bullshit. How the fuck y'all gonna have a SpongeBob SquarePants remix like chart? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Are you're saying that
Yeah.
Go? Never mind.
Shut. What you gotta say about Go-Go, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck you gotta say about Go-Go, huh?
Hey, no bullshit. I'm gonna send it to the group later. I just found the Mexican version of a go-go song.
It's just reggaeton. Anyway,
Man, no, it's not.
Did you just say it's just
better
right?
stop.
You motherfucker.
You better stop, Brian.
That's that Northern Virginia just seeping through your bitch ass.
Oh, this was tweeted from the PFF Buffalo Bills account in 2020. Again, I just searched on Twitter. Linebackers with the lowest passer rating allowed in coverage since 2017. Matt Milano, 84.8. Roquan Smith, 85.
What's that? Say what the grade is?
The linebackers with the lowest passer rating allowed in coverage since 2017.
Oh, they're reaching.
Hey, buddy.
hey,
They went back years.
the Bills.
So hold on.
It's like,
So how
what
do
are
you
they doing
calculate
now?
that?
17. That's
How do you calculate that? So it's what? Or is
passer
it?
rating allowed? Like, hey, if you know,
That's
how
fair,
they do
but
for corners.
what does
Like,
that matter now, though?
that was before the season. What do you mean? What does that matter now?
How's he looking
So he
now?
got worse. Got it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't get worse. I'm just saying, like, I can't find like the stuff from this season. So
It's not the
Look,
PFF
man.
grade; it's the passer rating of the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Look, we
it's not
can't
that
shit on
hard.
it. Congratulations.
Are we
bro.
breaking down any other trades that happened?
Yes.
Oh yes, we are. So outside of that, this is a quick one. Lions Vikings did a deal between division rivals, which is kind of a thing. I was surprised.
Lions got fleeced.
They did. So actually,
Yeah.
the Lions sent TJ Hawkinson and a 2023 fourth round pick and a conditional 2024 fourth round pick to Minnesota for a 2023 second round pick and a 2024 fourth round pick.
They got fleeced.
Why is that?
My question
Hawkinson's one of
is,
the best players on that team.
Ryan, I want you to
He's one of
start. My question is,
Mhm.
does this make a difference for the Vikings? They're 6-1, and like obviously they're contending, right? But does this make a difference in terms of like them? Like, is this a move like like hey, puts them over the top like what the Dolphins did with Bradley Chubb?
First off, that's ridiculous. Second off, I mean Hawkinson's good. I think wasn't there one of their tight ends got hurt?
Irv Smith is put on IR.
Irv
today.
Smith is out for like a 6 week thing.
It's
No.
a piece. It's more of a piece that they need.
It's like 8.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's a
okay,
piece-
yeah,
done.
he's done
Yeah,
for a
he's
while.
done.
He's done.
He's done for
It's
the
a-
year.
It's a
basically.
piece that they need, and I mean the Lions aren't contending this year in any shape or form. They're fun as shit to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I mean it's just a trade the Vikings needed to make. It's a weird trade to do with the Lions, but the Lions have a very, very decent tight end to trade. Right? I don't know if there's that many other teams that have that caliber of tight end that they're willing to trade. So that it was basically that guy or nobody. So I mean, they did what they had to do. Hopefully TJ goes in there and just dismantles the locker room and they lose every game for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, that don't make no sense to do that trade. Like, he's one of the better young tight ends in the league, and you gave him up.
Well, Iowa State is still a program, so there'll still be plenty of good tight ends coming into the game. Just saying.
They've had tight ends at Iowa State for a long period of time.
It's tight end university.
To your point, James, all right, do you think he's enough of a difference maker to not trade, though? Like, I don't. In my opinion, he's not a Mark Andrews, a Travis Kelce, a George Kittle. He's not.
Of course, those are the top three.
Right. No, the top four. That's the top four: Darren Waller, Kittle, Andrews, and Kelce. But do you think he's like? I'm saying, like, is he worth?
Yeah, he's still young. Like,
he's a very good second tier tight end, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't you think you can find another, like, because he's like in the same boat as Godare? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's in that boat. Like, hey, you're good, but you're not.
Let me ask you this question: do you think the Eagles would trade Godare for a second round pick if they were 1-6? No.
Yes.
Oh, they were 1-6
to Washington.
I absolutely do.
If they were 1-6.
Well, no, to Washington maybe not. But to be fair, James, the Detroit Lions are not the Commanders. They are historically ass.
Yeah, they're gonna make me watch them again on Thanksgiving.
I was like, they know how to feel about it at first, but I'm like, it's kind of a compliment.
No, for real, dead ass right though, because it's like, think about it, like Washington makes the playoffs like 5 out of 10 years. The Lions make the playoffs 5 out of 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. It's different. Like, it's different.
That's true, but it's kind of like you have. Like, because you remember when they started the year, they had one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL, like, to begin the year.
For one,
and then people got injured.
But that's people got injured too. It's fool's gold.
I know, but people got injured. Right?
That pendulum got stuck the other way.
They have a really good offensive line. They're starting to build the defense up. They had They have a great running back, pretty good tight end. Well, now they don't have the tight end anymore.
Well, I mean, the tight ends are kind of an expendable piece.
My only point
that's the key.
That's my only point, James.
That's the key. Is the tight end
running backs, tight ends.
So what here's what I say. I usually would say a tight end, or at least a supreme tight end, is kind of a luxury, especially if we don't have other pieces in place yet. They have the 32nd ranked defense. They're not going anywhere with the 32nd ranked defense. And at this particular point in time, they just need bodies. Really, they need to take flyers on talent to develop and to try to get a young core that they're building around. That defense needs a full rebuild, right? So, like, until they get that part of it done, I mean, look at Detroit over the last 15 years. All those goddamn Matt Stafford offenses, and you can't couple it with a fucking defense, nothing's going to matter, right? So, like, at this particular point, TJ Hawkinson, while he's great, and while he's a dude that you would like to have on your team, right? You know you're not going anywhere right now. You know you need more picks. Where can I leverage or at least get rid of for right now that's going to do the least harm to the team overall, but I can still get a return on my investment? And that, to me, is Hawkinson kind of screams out pretty loudly there. Because who else are you going to trade? You're not going to get rid of Swift, because do you take Hawkinson over Swift? No. Then beyond that, Jared Goff, no, he's looked pretty solid. And right now, you're not going to trade him. No one's going to want
trading him on Raw.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's not a lot of pieces that you can get rid of to get that value back.
Sun God.
They just need to take flyers.
I don't know.
What the fuck was the point of trading, like, your starting tight end?
Because
like, I value the tight end position more than y'all do.
They can pick another.
That's how I do it right now.
I value it.
No, wait, hold on. I'm not saying that you guys don't value. I'm saying I value it more.
I value it highly. Look at the last Super Bowl winners.
Look, man.
Look at.
Let me say my point.
Hold on. One last part. You can value it high, right? My point still stands. I just value it a little bit more. That's it. Go ahead.
Why?
Before you go, let me say my piece. Let me say my
piece.
piece. So I think I value it more than you do. I just put it into like, it's not like wide receivers, right? Like, you can have like a elite. You got the elite tier wide receivers. But then you got guys who are like right below that. Like, I don't think people consider you got the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chases, the Cooper Kupps. Then you got AJ Brown, who's probably in that second tier. But really, if you think about it, he's right there, right? Like, he's right there. It's not he's gonna get you maybe like 90 catches and 1,400 yards. But the difference between a top tier, a number 1 tight end, and a top tier number 2, like tier 2 tight end is huge. It's the difference between a Justin Jefferson and a Brandon Ayuk. Like that's the difference in my opinion. And I think with that is it's just like, hey, if you're not in that top tier, I'm gonna get some value from you, and I can replace you because there are a lot of tier 2 tight ends. Dalton Schultz, like Hayden Hurst, there's a rotating thing of like tier 2 tight ends. Is my point. I value
David Njoku hype.
David Njoku, they're right there. It's like 15 tier 2 tight ends, but they're not tier 1.
Logan Thomas when healthy.
Tier 2,
right?
Tier 2.
And maybe they were just embarrassed they drafted him 8th overall in 2019. They had to get rid of him.
That was insane. Yeah.
Then I also say that there's a little bit as far as
Josh Allen, TJ Hawkinson.
I love the move for Minnesota, though. I do love the move for Minnesota and giving Kirk Cousins another option and relieving some of that pressure. Because, I mean, look, at the end of the day, what their wide receiver group is. You got Jefferson, Thielen, Reagor, right? Osborne, and you add another piece to this with a Dalvin Cook in the backfield, only helps. And I think the thing that Minnesota is trying to do right now is to prove everybody that they're the real fucking deal.
Well, that and the last thing you want, and I know they have Thielen, is to have your only options being Thielen as a check down and letting Kirk gun it, because that's how you get the ball turned over. So TJ Hawkinson's got solid hands. If he trusts this tight end to make the catch, it's more likely to check it down to him. And that is
safety valve for Kirk himself.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what you want.
Your point to Kirk. Kirk is last in EPA per play in passing situations in every category, according to PFF. Last in EPA per play. And so that's expected points added per play, and you have to pass situations, and it's Kirk Cousins, which surprised me, to be honest. I'm shocked. He's never been that bad. He's always been like,
maybe he prayed on it, and that's terrible. Like, maybe he just got to be a game manager this year.
Well, that's what he is this year. That's what he is. It's over for his Ryan Fitzpatrick level run as a starter.
Well, that's what happens when you get older. You become a little bit more hesitant, and you gotta take less chances, because in the long run, it's better for you. You know what I mean?
I think he's missing someone called Stephon Diggs. But
I don't agree with none of this shit. Like, they just made a move just to make a move.
It's a different thing.
They made a move just to make a move. Like, why would you trade your 25-year-old tight end that's starting to come into the zone?
Because you only have one win against the Commanders in week 2, in which they almost came back from you. You have
the team is trash. Not every bad team is going to trade the only pieces that they have on the squad.
But they're going
to do it the whole way.
I think what I was trying to get to you, I'm just going to reiterate it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
There are not a lot of expendable pieces on that team, and they need picks more than they need some of these guys. If you look across the room in Detroit on who it is, you don't want to get rid of them, but you need more bodies. Who's the last man standing? It's TJ Hawkinson. You're not going to trade Swift. Even if you do, you're probably not going to get the kind of return, because injury history over a period of time, places a fucking running back, and there's an expiration date. You can't. There's nobody on defense you can get rid of at all. Period. There's nobody you're going to trade.
Trash.
You're not going to get rid of their Amon St. whatever fuck.
St. Brown.
Yeah, fuck him.
I get what you're saying.
Talk shit about
let me ask you this question again, Keem. What was the trade details again?
You want me to give it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vikings. Detroit sent TJ a 2023 4th round pick and a 2024 conditional.
So they sent 2 4th round picks.
Yeah, but 2024 is conditional. I don't know what the conditions are.
I think it goes up if they win a playoff game. So it goes to like a second or some shit.
Okay. To Minnesota for a 2023 2nd round pick and a 2024.
Yeah, they're trying to load up that defense.
So if the Vikings make the playoffs, then right, so they would send their 2nd and 4th round pick.
Yeah, right now, 2 years from now.
Yeah. Right now, I think it's conditional in terms of TJ. Like, the only conditional part is on the Detroit's end. So Minnesota is sending a 2023 2nd round. So they get Minnesota's 2nd rounder for this year and a 4th round pick for next year. No conditions are on
Right.
them. The only conditions are on the Lions. So I think the Lions, the 2024 conditional 4th round pick that they sent to Minnesota is like, hey, if you do this, then the pick comes down, I think, to a 5th round.
No, I thought it goes up. If Hockenson does well, if Hockenson does well and they make the playoffs, I think, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
that don't make
sense. I'm gonna point one other thing out as far as the Lions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions for 2023 have 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, a 3rd, a 5th, 2 6th. 2024 first, second, 2 thirds, a 5th, 6th, 7th.
So the Lions have a lot of picks.
They are loading up. That's what they have to do. The thing is that as of right now, we have been looking at this Lions team as this scrappy young group that Dan Campbell's got going, right? Here's the truth. They're just not that fucking talented. So as much as you might have the right head coach that can build up certain guys and have them playing above their level, there's still not enough talent on that fucking roster. So they are in you have to do it sometimes in order to get the draft picks, in order to do the full rehaul. It's called selling. You have to do it sometimes. It's the same thing Carolina just did with Christian McCaffrey, even though that haul that they got made it almost impossible to say no. It's things like that you have to do.
To me, the difference there is McCaffrey's injury history, 1, and 2nd, he's not a young player. TJ Hawkinson's still a young player. He's one of the people that you want to come in.
I got it. But the thing with Keem, the same thing that Keem said, if your name is not Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Darren Waller is right there on the cusp.
Mark
Andrews, you're tier 2. And what you're doing with tier 2 is, if I look at TJ Hawkinson's numbers compared to how much, especially last year when it looked as far as the amount of targets that he was getting, and I compare it to other tier 2 tight ends, you're not getting that crazy displacement as far as what you're looking at stats. It's just not.
Got 26 catches this year for 3 tugs.
That's the thing. You're just not in a position where you look at it and say, oh my God, what I'm missing of this guy, holy shit. It'd be one thing if they had 3 wide receivers that were fucking awesome and a studded quarterback.
Let me just, so I have a little clarity. On
the conditions.
So, the Lions, this is just from The Athletic.
Okay.
This is what they said. The Lions should be stockpiling assets. Hockenson is a good, not great tight end, but also one this office did not draft. To keep him in Detroit, the Lions would have to pay him big money because he's coming up on his deal. Concerning the holes in the game as a blocker, as well as lingering durability concerns, extending him probably wasn't the best use of their resources. Hockenson is set to make $9.392 million next season. So it frees up cap space while also boosting Detroit's capital. So essentially what they're saying also is the Lions essentially swapped their 2023 4th for Minnesota's 2023 2nd. That's also in the Athletic article.
Yeah, their draft. I'm gonna laugh so hard when they blow that draft next year.
That's the other thing, is it's Detroit.
No. Hey, do y'all want a free car?
They have 4 picks. They have 4 picks. I'm on the top 60 though. That's all I'm saying. Like,
how are they gonna fuck it up?
But here's the thing. But that's what they're doing. But here's what the Lions are doing. The Lions are saying, we know we screw these up. We need as many as possible because we're gonna strike. We'll get one. We'll get one. It'll be dope.
I need some knee biters.
Not to mention, depending on who they are, depending on where they're at, you start coupling some of those things to go get your guy, because it's a lot of fucking assets, right? So I mean, if they're in the conversation with the 1 win that they have right now, and they want to be in the fucking Bryce Young sweepstakes or whoever the fuck is going to be number 1 overall, they're right there. Like it positions them to do it. And I say, TJ, good luck. And here's the other thing that I'm also putting on is that because of what we've seen as far as his injury history last year, and they're worried about that aspect of it, you can see the down as far as the stats. What it is showing me, maybe. Once again, Detroit trash franchise, so I don't think they're that clever. But it also thinks of me of like what Philadelphia did with Donovan McNabb and us in Washington, which is like, oh, you guys think you're getting some? You're not really getting some. Here you go, take it. So it might be one of those things too. So like,
some games this year.
Give me your final thoughts on this one.
He missed 4 last year. Yeah.
Your final thoughts on this one, James?
We'll just see what happens.
Okay.
It just sucks, in my opinion.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
I mean, but if you live in Detroit, it's kind of your fault.
It's
Moving
so
on.
cold.
So now you can't go to Oakland or fucking
That's-
Detroit.
So the Bears
supposed to keep peace.
Okay.
So the Bears were dealing at the deadline. They also, outside of the trade that they made with the Ravens, they also traded their 2023 second round pick to the Steelers for Chase Claypool. So they got our second round pick and were like, hey, we got a one to spare. So let's trade the other one for Chase Claypool. Personally, this is just me. I think they overpaid. But how do you guys feel about the deal? Can I go first?
Chase Claypool's overrated shit. There's a lot. If you start watching like the All 22 or stuff about Pittsburgh, and you start realizing how many times he takes plays off, or he doesn't run the route fully, he doesn't do this, that, and the other. And not to mention, you even look at last year, the year before, as far as just the mental hiccups that he was running. It makes me feel, I'm not going as far as to say that he's Antonio Brown coming out of Pittsburgh. I am saying that Mike Tomlin does a really good job of hiding wide receivers in their issues until they leave the team. So I'm not trusting anything.
Antonio Brown won a Super Bowl.
And he put that shit on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get it. Do you think AB going to a Tom Brady led Tampa Bay is the same as a Justin Fields Chicago? Yeah, but what are we comparing? I can compare to human beings. Okay, yeah, all right. Chase Claypool is going to the Justin Fields led Super Bowl bound Chicago Bears. Okay, great.
Hey, he's coming on strong.
Look, they need all the help they can get for Justin Fields, so I understand the move. I think more than anything, they need to be looking at making upgrades on the offensive line. Maybe there's not enough trade bait right there. Yeah, they need to protect Fields, and they need to do everything they possibly can do to put anybody that can help Fields in a position to help Fields. I don't think this is enough, or anywhere close to being enough.
So this is a lot like the TJ Hawkinson trade, though. Roquan Smith was coming into his 5th year of his deal, gonna owe him $10 million. They are still kind of rebuilding. They needed the pick, they needed the cap. And they also sent Robert Quinn to the Eagles.
Yeah, they got
again, same deal. They need bodies. And they're not, I mean, I think they think Fields is their guy. I don't know if Chase is gonna really help this year that much, but he's a lot cheaper than trying to resign.
I think he'll help this year. He'll help this year. They won't go anywhere.
Dude, Justin Fields look pretty good.
He's looking good lately. He's looking good in the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he may have something. I'm not saying that.
I like Fields.
It's not going to happen. He was. I still think he's the best person.
I thought some of his stats.
He was the best QB in that draft, and I still think that on a bad team. So, I mean, it's great for the teams that got players. I think Chicago just needs bodies. Again, you know, they don't eat deep dish in Chicago. That's just something for tourists. I didn't know that.
They don't. I wanted to go to Chicago in the summer and eat deep dish.
Where's that from? What'd you watch? I watched the same thing.
It was like some hip hop
helicopter. Hip hop helicopter. That's from the Proud Family. Don't worry about it.
No, it was
it's old.
Who the fuck was it?
And I watched the exact same thing you did. Oh, Chance the Rapper on T-Pain's podcast.
Yes.
Nope.
I said hip hop.
T-Pain has one of the best podcasts out.
That's not the point. It was Chance.
I get it, but Chance with T-Pain, T-Pain makes anybody tolerable to me.
That's fair. I will watch it now,
dude. I still think
no, that's a good point. I'll fuck with that. Okay.
T-Pain's Twitch intro song is still one of my favorite fucking things. Gets me so hyped every time.
T-Pain is severely underrated in terms of talent. Period.
I don't underrate. I think y'all underrate him like you made TJ Hawkinson. I do not underrate T-Pain.
It was
not at all.
The NPR Tiny Desk changed a lot of people's opinions.
Oh yeah,
sure. He can.
And that, but to me, do you know when he played when he played Master Shake or whatever on Aqua Teen Hunger Force? I was like, this is my dog. I love this man. This is what's up. This is the shit. Look, I'm still surprised about Chicago. Do you know Chicago was my Super Bowl pick like 3 years ago, like under Mitch Trubisky? Like when they had that was the thing. They were making moves, right? When they went and they got who they trade for, that Raider player. Who's that guy? Khalil Mack, right? I'm sorry, James.
Where does he play now? What is he?
LA? Is he in LA?
He's in Charlotte.
You really don't know that answer to that question?
He's
You
a
really
Charger.
Matt? No, I mean,
You really
after
asking?
He's a Charger.
Are you
he's
really
a Charger.
asking?
Yeah, he's a Charger.
All right. I didn't know if you were seriously asking.
No, I keep getting, because I know that there were 2 linebackers that went to LA, but one for the Rams and one for the Chargers. Wagner went to the Rams.
Yeah.
Mac went to the Chargers.
Bobby. All right.
Yep, Chicago. Cool. Chase. Great.
So after that, I want to get into the Washington. I'm just playing. So before we get to Washington, actually, I do want to go ahead and talk about Washington real quick. They also traded William Jackson III and the 6th round pick in 2024 to the Steelers for Jackson and a 7th rounder in 2025. Just like real quick, because William Jackson is better in man coverage. The Steelers will use him in man coverage. They don't have great corners. We don't need to go more than 30 seconds on this topic. Do you guys think it's a good trade for the Steelers or a good trade for the Washington Commanders?
It's good for both.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Ryan, you'll go second. James, go first.
All right. Yeah, it is a good trade for both because the Washington Commanders use zone, and that's not what he does. So I don't know why the fuck he signed there in the first place, but whatever. Why the fuck y'all sign him? And didn't y'all pay him a lot of money?
Ryan, go.
So they were just going to release him. So they weren't going to get anything.
Yeah.
And so they found a team that was willing to give him something, knowing goddamn well that they were going to release him. But now the Commanders are on the hook for a little bit of that money, which they're pretty good at doing. There was that $100 million guy back in the day. I forget his name.
Albert Hainsworth.
That's the guy. But no, they got something for a guy who otherwise they would have got nothing. Obviously somebody got fired. Whoever told him he was a good pick, not realizing that he plays man. That guy should be all of his stuff in his shoebox. And obviously Pittsburgh's defense looks fucking lost every time they step on the field. So
they should have re-signed Joe.
It was good for both teams. I don't think either of them got a whole heck of a lot because I don't think the Steelers defense gets substantially better by this one trade, but both teams got something, right? It's like a Christmas where you're like, I wanted the Nintendo, but then you got like the I don't know, Skechers or some shit. And you're like, I didn't really want that, but I got something. So
you
it's
went
cool.
from an actual game console
So
to
a pair of Skechers.
Yeah, it's not what you wanted at all, but it's something.
Okay.
I wore Skechers freshman year of high school. They walked around the school for 4 years saying, Kadeen, it's the S. I never lived it down.
I just want to clarify something.
Why'd you just rock some 99?
I'm never not.
It was one day.
Saying that anymore. I'm never not saying that anymore. Like, listen, listen.
Yes.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna say it's the S in the group chat. I
was telling a girlfriend about it. It's like I bought the Funkmaster Flex driving shoe, the lugs once.
No, I thought they were fire, but
they were fire. But the thing was, they didn't rep in DC. If you were in New York, all right, cool. You in DC. Like, what them cream boat shoes you got?
Yeah. What the fuck? Why don't you just put on some fucking 992s like the rest of us?
I didn't like New Balance. They seemed all old and geriatric looking to me.
Yeah, but then you put on the Skechers and you found out.
I had a pair of phone posits. I barely wore them.
More to get ridiculed.
I had a pair of phone posits. But I always like,
get ridiculed.
I remember I had the Derek Jeter Jordans at one point. I just wanted something a little different. I didn't want what everybody else had.
You spent more money to get ridiculed. All you had to do is get them, and you could have rocked them.
My mom bought me the Skechers. I'll never forget. It was a blue and white shoe. I threw them under our beach house over the summer, and said I lost them.
All right, so moving on. Let's move.
Oh, hang on, real quick.
Hey,
were you
expecting a Nintendo? Is the question.
It was a PlayStation. The biggest alarming thing about this was how terribly botched the free agent signing in the first place was William Jackson. Although I will say this thing, that whole man corner versus zone corner thing is bullshit. 70% of the league's plays. Fuck you. 70%. I think I gave him a fucking toss up, make himself feel better about his goddamn rating. All right, so
no, that's not gonna work.
Look,
after this, I'm gonna be sad as shit again. It's cool.
70% of plays on defense are in zone. If you're a corner that can't play zone and man, guess what you are? Not a good corner. That's it. Okay.
No,
I'm sorry.
You're a
This is
safety.
bullshit. Right. That's my so like we can say, yeah, it was a terrible free agent signing. It was the biggest one we've made in the Ron Rivera era. Fucking trash.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, it was Ron Rivera. And Ron was very honest today, but I think he's doing William Jackson a solid by saying, he was truly just a man corner. And, we played zone. We thought his talents would do that. Bruh, even though I do think he can contribute to Pittsburgh, because I don't think he's completely washed up. I just think you need to ask a lot less of him.
Yeah, you just got to put him in the right place, right position.
Yep.
Speaking of,
good shit on getting something for him.
Exactly.
That's true.
Since he wasn't playing another fucking snap. He was a liability.
Moving on from two middling teams to an actual contender, the Dolphins got
out of the playoffs.
Got edge rusher Bradley from the Broncos for the 49ers 2023 first round draft pick. The Broncos 2024 fourth round pick and running back Chase Edmonds. The Dolphins also received the Broncos 2025 fifth round pick. So before we get to that, also the Dolphins acquired running back Jeff Wilson from the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a fifth round pick.
They did?
Yes, they got Jeff Wilson as well. So just
their running back core is the 2020 San Francisco 49ers running back core.
Yeah.
It's literally that. So
it's like Kyle Shanahan special sauce.
Hey,
Mike McDaniel missing.
Mike McDaniel said, "Hey, give me my guy."
Give me my ass. Yep.
My question to y'all is: so based off of the deals that the Dolphins made, where does that vault them for you guys in terms of their contendership? Right. So like, are they top 5 contender now to you guys, or like they're like still like right on the outskirts? In terms of contender, and I mean AFC and NFC. And I mean contender, I'm talking Super Bowl. I'm not just talking fucking playoffs. They should make the fucking playoffs. But in terms of Super Bowl, where do they rank for you guys? K-Dot start.
So I do think that everything they're doing is helping. It's all good stuff, right? But Miami is still where Miami is, which is there's the Buffalo Bills, there's the Kansas City Chiefs, and then there's a weak as fuck AFC. Who's your like right now, who am I picking over the Dolphins? Maybe Baltimore, but that's it. I'm not picking Tennessee over them.
Wow.
That's it. But I also think the AFC is fairly weak. You have the guys at the top, then there's a few teams that on any given Sunday they can beat each other up and they can make things interesting in the playoffs. But everybody knows what the deal is in the AFC. There are 2 teams right now that are battling for superiority. Beyond that, it's a fight between everybody else. And it doesn't really matter until fucking playoff time starts. And who's taking on Kansas City or Buffalo? Does anybody really believe that anybody has a legit shot at that?
I'll be honest with you, yes.
Okay.
And I might be biased. And it's only okay, so here's how I view it. Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, the rest.
You put Baltimore in the same league as them 2.
So if I told you,
he did qualify.
I'm just saying, is there a chasm?
Baltimore is the only team that has had a double lead against all of its opponents this year, right? They squandered some leads. Don't get me wrong. But if they would have beaten Buffalo, would you feel differently?
Yeah, but they didn't.
Right. All they got to finish. They didn't. Fair, but they're right there in terms, and that's why I said Buffalo's number 1. Buffalo beat Kansas City, and they looked better against Kansas City than they did against Baltimore. And so to me, if you're looking at that, I put them right here. Kansas City and Baltimore are right here for me. They had the fucking Dolphins down, fucking insane numbers. Now, to be fair, not a completely healthy defense, but nobody gives a shit about that because they lost the game. But now you get a healthy defense. So you're adding Roquan Smith to that. I will tell you the truth. Buffalo Bills, you're number 1. You're the contender. You're the favorite in everything.
Miami beat Buffalo, didn't they?
I'm turning my headphones up. Say that again.
The Dolphins also beat Buffalo.
I don't appreciate how fucking lucky you got. You just switched and then y'all became great.
I was the last piece.
So, but yes, but like Buffalo, you're there. Like Josh Allen is on a tear, whatever. The defense, you got Von Miller, you're great. Perfect. Kansas City, Baltimore, right here for me. The rest of the teams, Tennessee, Cincinnati, the Dolphins are below that for me. That's just my opinion. But that's how I see it.
I mean, if the Dolphins beat the Bills again, we're having a different conversation, I think. Because
No, I don't think I still don't think it's a different
But
conversation.
here's the thing. Regardless of where they are this year, this is a team that has improved substantially over the last 6 months.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And all they did was trade away Trey Lance, and they got Tyreek, Chubb, and Jalen Waddle.
Technically, it started with Laramie, but yes.
Well, yeah, but we are witnessing some. This is what good movings and dealings and shakings look like. There have been some bad examples already discussed today, but this is a good example of movements and shakings. Hey, man, but also fuck them. How about that?
James.
Fair point.
I mean, I think I had the Dolphins as a playoff team. Well, no, I had them winning like 10 games, but just missing the playoffs.
Same.
I thought we would actually be fucking good, but we're not. So yeah, whatever.
I had them at 8 and 9.
I had them at like 10 and 8 or something like that,
We all make mistakes.
or 10 and 7, whatever. I don't know. Fuck all.
Yeah, man. Miami's fun though.
Yeah,
Tua's a real deal.
Hey,
You know what else
real.
is fun? You know what else is fun?
Oh, I had them
I
at
just-
10-7 as a 7 seed. Yeah.
I just looked up our podcast fantasy football standings. We ain't talking about this yet. Ryan, you're at 7-1. Congratulations, sir.
Good for you, Ryan. That's boss. That's some boss ass shit.
Thank you.
K Dot, you at 5-3.
Look at you.
Boss ass shit, bro.
I'm at 4-4, 7 seed, so right behind you.
Decent.
The person who drafted Lamar Jackson first round is 2-6, and then right below that is King.
You losing to Mr. Draft Tucker in the 4th round?
Hey man. It happens. It happens. You know.
Look, this is your year because last year was K Dot. Now it's your.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's fine, but K-Dot,
We ain't address shit.
K-Dot gotta win a fucking title, right? Like he gotta. If he loses this year, and it's still I'm better than K-Dot, and it's still I'm better than Ryan, and it's still I'm better than you. One of you motherfuckers gotta win for me to be below you because I had a bad year. Great, okay, you get your shit off. Like
Also, Dr. Jesse Morse.
I'm gonna beat his ass.
Come on, homie.
Hey,
Fantasy
you better than
doctor,
him.
man. Fantasy
You
doctor.
know,
Me,
Hey, he finna get his ass beat this week though. Oh, Adam's agreeable. You will start. Hey, you. Hey, you had a hot line. They made it a hot song. You started off strong, my nigga, but you ass now. You terrible now.
I need to clip this and send it to him.
You terrible now. He gonna be right there with me, and that's all I care about right now, because that's all I can care about. Because I'm not good.
I'm so happy. Keem killed that. Like I had a shitty Dr. Adam life like CPR joke, and that was so much better than anything I was gonna do. Thank you.
So the Bills traded for a backup running back. Great.
We're getting to that. But before we
More
get
than that.
yeah, we got like 2 other hits.
Yeah, we got a
quick
safety
before we get there. Well, actually, one more.
What?
We can go ahead and hit the Bills, and then I'll go back to the Falcons and Cavaliers. So the Bills traded for Naheem Hines from the Colts, and they sent running back Zach Moss and a conditional 6th-round pick to the Colts. I think this is good for the Bills. It makes sense. It's insurance. Like he'll be like a great value Darren Sproles.
Catching running back.
Who's your return man?
Catch the ball. It's gonna be Naheem Hines.
Yeah. He's pretty good. So
He's pretty good.
There's that too.
I like that
He's more than just a backup running back. I'm like, come on now.
He says before every time he gets a kickoff, if I die, I die. And that is the kind of guy that I like. He doesn't give a shit. He's run downhill 100%.
I would just
I love the way he runs. It's fun to watch.
All of this should have been completely unnecessary if JD McKissick made the right choice and stayed healthy.
Oh.
JD, how you feling, buddy?
JD, I feel so sorry for him. He's not phased into the offense at all. It just doesn't work right now. And it sucks so bad. I'm like, I really wanted Washington just to get rid of him for like $50 and a Kit Kat some shit just to have him on a team that because it's just it's not. Antonio Gibson's kind of taking the role,
and Tre'Davious is off the IR and back on the Bills defense, and we picked up a safety from Atlanta.
You did. I think you traded like a 7th-round pick to get him as well. So moving on from the Bills.
This is my favorite trade.
The Falcons traded suspended receiver Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars for conditional draft compensation. I don't see where it doesn't say what it was, but
it was very complicated.
He gets a $10,000 free bet on FanDuel.
I think it was a conditional like third or fourth.
No, it's like it's a few conditions.
Like
Like
got to
if
use
you're on the
discount
roster-
code Goodell.
Conditional picks, I believe. Go ahead, James.
because it was like if he's on the roster, they get one thing, and then if he's not, then they get another. Like it's weird.
Okay. All right.
My favorite part of this story is he got suspended betting a Jags versus Atlanta game, and then he got traded to the Jags while he's suspended from making that bet.
There's gonna be all over Jacksonville Stadium. Just gonna have him bet on us, FanDuel logo.
More advertising.
Technically, he didn't,
Fucking
right?
amazing.
He betted against the Jags.
No, I'm just saying it works for the. Come on,
and I'm
this
just
is Florida, fucking Florida. But no, it's a great move, man. Calvin Ridley's talented as shit. I am so disappointed. Well, I won't see Ridley and Pitts on the same goddamn team. But in Jacksonville,
Drake London is.
They need to do and Drake London like that was gonna be so sick. I mean, I need to upgrade the quarterback, but I mean, Mariota's been pretty good.
Whoa! Don't besmirch the man.
Mariota's no Geno Smith. Come on, Ryan.
He's not. Don't besmirch the man.
He's done all right.
He's done fine. Look, I like y'all know how I feel about Atlanta.
He hasn't been hurt yet.
I said they were gonna be all
I
right.
think K-Dot like had a really good time when he visited Atlanta in some instance. And
I've
I've
never been to Atlanta proper.
You should go
Ever.
and take you. You should let me.
I had a
take
great time.
I've been outside of Atlanta quite a few times, but I'm not.
Let me take you. I'll take you to the places you need to go.
Magic City. It's the only place I want to go.
No, there are better strip clubs in Magic City. It's just that's what
I've heard that.
If you want to see celebrities, then I mean, I'll take you to Magic City. But
which strip club has the best wings? Because that's where I want to go.
Thing is, I have a house.
Maybe Blue Flame.
My brother has a house just sitting there in Atlanta. At any point in time, I can go down there.
Strip club wings are my jam.
Blue Flame probably.
Strip club food in general, I could write a book. It's incredible.
Yeah, somebody actually did write an article on that once before, but
it's so good, man. Like especially lunch hour. You know what it is? Bunch of ex-convicts and shit that can't get work other places, but they can cook their asses off. It's fucking amazing.
And a lot of states require you to sell usually 50-50-ish food to alcohol. So you have to have bomb-ass food because you're selling tons of fucking alcohol.
I was a huge go have lunch at the strip club guy.
All right, guys, let's keep this train moving. The Broncos also sent a 2024 4th-round pick to the Jets for pass rusher Jacob Martin and a 2024 5th-round selection. I don't really care to go into detail about that.
I don't know who Jacob Martin is.
Exactly. It's to replace Bradley Chubb. Apparently he's decent. And good for them. So
let's ride
on to the NBA. So bigger news. Steve Nash was fired today, and apparently we already have his replacement. Ime Udoka has been announced to be the very, 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 very likely. It hasn't been confirmed, but very, very, very likely as of Tuesday night, November 1st, 8:03 p.m. Coach to replace Steve Nash for the Brooklyn Nets. How do we feel about this move for Brooklyn in terms of them firing Steve Nash and then hiring Ime?
Steve Nash was trash.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what your name is.
Well,
at least doesn't matter.
Ime will get the coach this year.
That is though. You don't think this makes a difference in terms of the Brooklyn Nets contention?
I don't think anyone knows who's in control in Brooklyn, and I think that's the biggest issue in Brooklyn.
You don't think they figures that? I mean, can fix that?
Not with Kyrie, KD, and Ben Simmons.
I disagree with you.
I think they respect him.
I completely agree with you in terms of nobody knows right now. I think Ime is a leader. I'll do with the coach speak and the national reporter speak. He's a leader of men. Ime is a leader of men.
Or is this
So,
just ignore the anti-Semitic comments from a star player and let's make 2 big moves in a day?
But
and if you're Brooklyn, hide your assistants, hide your secretaries.
I think it's a great move for Brooklyn. I think this will make the difference between them, contending for a championship and being another first round out. To be honest, I didn't like some of Steve Nash's rotations. I didn't like how how much he played KD and Kyrie at times. Like you kind of run them to the ground. Yes. And so I think like Ime will be much better. It might even take a little while into January for them to really figure it out. But I like the move for Brooklyn a lot. I think this could put them into contention for the finals for real. But they'll be right there with the Milwaukee Bucks if they can fix things. But we'll see. So who knows?
I think for Ime, he probably felt a little hard done. I mean, he accepted the punishment from the Celtics, but he was probably like, "Fuck you! Why am I out for the season?" Yeah. And the suspension is not through the NBA; it's just through the Celtics, so he can suit up and be out there tomorrow if this gets done. So I think it's better for everybody involved because the Celtics are playing all right too. So
didn't I make the prediction that he would never coach for the Celtics again?
I don't think you were.
We all did.
I don't think you were.
We all did. It's like you can't go back.
Right.
Yeah, because it's stupid. It was stupid. That's why I said the whole thing was fucking stupid in the first place.
Fire him.
If you're gonna suspend him, and that's why I thought it was fucking something shady going on. Because if you would have fired him, if you could have fired him, you would have just fired him. But they couldn't for some reason. I don't know what reason that is.
I think it was just to have everything go away.
Nah, you know what? I honestly think they knew that he was going to go to the Nets. Because there's no point for you to fire Steve Nash 7 games in. If that lease was so short,
but they could have also denied him permission to talk to Brooklyn.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They were always going to let him go.
Right.
They're always going to let him go. But my problem with that is, why wouldn't you just let him go in the offseason?
I think that I almost think it does. I think it did work out for everybody in the best case scenario, in the sense of enough of the stank. You still got stank on it, but there's enough of the headlines have kind of passed because they got an anti-Semitic point guard. Enough time has gone by. Boston's fine. They are where they're at. They're kind of set, right? You're going to hear blips about the Ime Udoka thing when he gets to Brooklyn, but I just don't think it'll carry the same weight if they would have fired him this offseason or whatever shit took place, in like August, September, and he signs immediately with Brooklyn, and then there's a story that comes out. I think Brooklyn has a lot of stank on them at that point too. So I think it's one of those things where it's like enough time has passed. I think we can all just leave and be kind of quiet about it. And I just think it works out. Because it's a headline thing, right? Like it's what are you doing as far as helping the headlines? You got Joe Tsai, who's probably a little more out there on Twitter than he needs to be as an owner, but I just think that's a team with those stars that command a lot of attention. And you don't want any of the bad headlines because they're going to give you enough.
He was in Brooklyn already, so he's coached.
Yeah, he's coming back, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a good move for the Nets. I think it'll work out better for them to have him there rather than Steve Nash.
Steve Nash doing TikToks.
And don't get me twisted. Ime Udoka is a better coach than Steve Nash. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. I just still think the major issue, and I think, Keem, you're right. Some of the rotation stuff, every once in a while, Steve Nash looked like a deer in the headlights. That being said, I don't know what the mentality of the coach needs to be to really be successful in Brooklyn when there's no one you can really rely on as far as being the leader in that locker room. And I don't know how they react to one wanting to be the leader in the locker room.
I think Udoka can fix that shit. He did just take his team to the finals, right?
I don't think there's ever been a team with those sort of personalities on it ever.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation.
It's a weird deal, man. Like, you got KD, who's one of the greatest players of all time, right? And one of the worst leaders you could ever imagine to have on your team. You got Kyrie Irving, who wants to be a leader, but no one should ever want him to lead anything ever whatsoever, right? And everyone on the team knows that's not a guy we can follow. You got Ben Simmons, who's still afraid to play basketball. What are you doing?
He wants to be in, I think he wants to star in movies.
And that defense is shit. And who they getting back? Seth Curry? He's going to help.
Not a bad defender.
He's not a good one either.
Joe Harris is an underrated defender as well. And I think Ben Simmons can get his defensive prowess back.
They need to play him at the 5.
Nah.
Yeah. He needs to be KD is the 5, but they need to use Ben as the defender, the primary defender. I don't disagree with that. Okay. So with that said, let's move on. And let's go to game picks, guys. Let's pop off with that. So we want to start with Thursday night game, Eagles at the Houston Texans. I think we're all on the Eagles, I'm assuming.
Eagles.
Correct.
Okay. Come on, James.
No.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I did predict you would take the lead from me. You didn't.
Did we add my 10
I
points?
added to mine. Yeah, no, I don't think it counts because we gave you a fucking deadline, but I don't know what anyone else thinks.
I didn't hear a deadline, and those were my picks. So
I don't really give a shit. You're still 10 behind me if we give you 2. So I don't care.
That's fine.
You're up on Keem now.
I got 11 last week.
Give it to him.
I'm coming up.
Give it to him, man. He needs that. So Chargers at Atlanta. I'm taking the Chargers. James.
Same.
K-Dot.
Chargers.
Ryan. We're all on the chart. I think this is an easy week, to be honest. Dolphins at Bears. Ryan.
The Dolphins.
K-Dot.
Dolphins. You
All
did
right.
catch me. I really thought you were going to go the other way.
Panthers at Bengals.
Bengals.
Well, okay. So, yeah, I promise you this is an easy week. Packers at Lions. Packers.
Do it.
Packers.
Oh.
Thank you. Damn, I need to get above you. All right. Colts at Patriots. James.
Gotta go with the Patriots.
K-Dot.
Patriots.
Ryan.
Colts.
All right. So, Bills.
Sammy boy.
K-Dot.
Bills.
Ryan.
Worlds colliding.
James.
Bills.
Vikings at Commanders. K-Dot.
The Commanders.
Vikings.
Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
Raiders at Jaguars. James.
Jaguars.
I love it. I fucking love it.
We can't beat the Jaguars, bro. Like, we can't beat the Jaguars.
I'm going Raiders.
Look at the last few games we played against the Jags.
That's fine. I'm going Raiders.
I'm changing my pick. Raiders.
Raiders.
You know what?
right.
I hope I'm wrong, but
I do too.
Hey,
Seahawks,
he's emotionally hedging.
Here's the thing. Yeah, he'll be happier.
Seahawks at Cardinals. Ryan.
Probably not.
Give me current MVP candidate Cheeto Smith. I fuck with him, yo.
Give me
so
DeAndre
good.
fucking Hopkins and the fucking Cardinals. K-Dot.
Hopkins in the cards.
James.
Hey man, Call of Duty just came out. Get out.
It wasn't that great.
It's good.
It's very
It's
good.
good. Like, the graphics are amazing.
It's really
That's the only thing I've heard. That this, at least the single player campaign, is the only thing.
That's the only thing that changes is great.
And it's like, Warzone ain't out yet.
Yeah, and wait till the Warzone drop. Ooh,
Yeah, like, I'm
Kyler
waiting for
gonna go on a losing streak. Kyler gonna go on a losing streak.
I've not played Warzone since 2020.
I got the Seahawks.
Okay, all right. So we're all not on the same team. Okay, so Rams at Buccaneers. I'll go first. Rams.
Same.
Bucks.
This one's probably the hardest one of the week. It's got to be the Rams. Bucks can't protect Brady.
Titans at Chiefs. Sunday night football. K-Dot.
Chiefs.
Ryan.
This is gonna be a massacre.
I thought you were gonna go. I think you're gonna go Tennessee instead of gonna run the ball.
I was thinking Tennessee, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's Chiefs.
This is gonna be a massacre.
Chiefs.
Massacre.
Same.
Perfect. All right. Monday night football. The Super Bowl champs was 2022, 2023.
Can you get it out?
Ravens at the Saints.
Ravens.
James.
They start to get it together.
James.
I want y'all to beat their ass because fuck them, bro.
Damn.
God, their defense is bad all year, but they were great last week. But I'm picking the Ravens because fuck the Saints.
I'm picking the Ravens as well. All right. So that's our picks. And last but not least, let's get to our final thoughts. Who wants to go
Should
first?
we do before we do final thoughts? We usually we do this at the top of the episode.
Yep.
But James, you want to take over?
No, not really. Like RIP takeoff. Like, just gotta throw that out there. King woke me up this morning to the news via text, and of course I hop right on Twitter because I run the Twitter page. So if you see ASOS on there, you're interacting with me.
All the Raiders talk is a bit of a dead giveaway, but okay.
I mean Barcelona too, and
soccer talk giveaway.
Yeah, true. Well, that could be Ryan too. Prison Wars coming soon.
That involves work.
Man, I work.
Not on anything other than your job.
Yeah. It's tough.
Oh wow, I'm really stomping all of this. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I hopped on Twitter, and of course, like the thing that pisses me off more than most today is the fact that as soon as they see somebody laying on the ground, bleeding or dead or whatever, the first thing they do is pull out their phone and record, not to call 911 to try to save them, but to record. So of course you try to figure out what's going on, and then you just start to see shit you don't want to see. So that's how my morning was. After like 30 minutes, I said, fuck work, and couldn't do it. So, yeah, rest in peace. Like all the shit that's coming out now where people's talking about like the reasons why something happened, nobody really knows. Like, so let's try not to blame people for shit that we don't know is the actual case. Cause yeah.
That just makes it worse.
Wanted to add to James's point, but I was going to say also rest in peace to Davido's 3-year-old child. That's I can't imagine. But listen, I have a newborn, so I just can't imagine.
Yeah, that new fatherhood really, that's some motherfucker on your emotions when you hear shit like that.
Yeah, so I just rest in peace, man.
Only thing or in the RIP I take off is that the biggest tragedy to me in all of this is that we keep talking about it over the last how many years, and we do the Black Lives Matter shit, and we do all the other kind of stuff to try to do what we can as a community. And at the hands of another one of us, we've got a young Black entrepreneur leader, someone who puts other people on, that's getting put in the fucking ground. And it's bullshit, and we need to hold ourselves accountable and everybody else accountable around us. It's just inexcusable. It's not okay. It's not okay at all.
Yep.
Also in the rest in peace category, rest in peace Adam Zimmer, former NFL coach, was found dead in his house this morning, 38. No cause of death, but he was alone. So prayers out to his family as well, because it's tough. Bad day all around.
Rough day.
Yep. Father lost a son.
And Ryan's final thoughts for once. Well, go Bills. But we had talked about the story last year, right before the playoffs, where Andy Reid's kid Britt was driving drunk, hit that car, and the 5-year-old girl who's inside suffered traumatic brain injuries. He was eventually found guilty of felony DUI. Sentencing was today. He got 3 years. So I know it's not gonna be fully compensatory to that little girl's family, but at least he is actually serving time, because I know a lot of times when it's a celebrity, things get a little wishy-washy. But
like nothing's ever going to be fully, like, you're never going to get your health back, you know.
Right. So. But he is facing actual consequences for it, so that's good to see.
All right, that was our SAG segment.
Yeah, go Bills.
Outstanding some shit.
Final thoughts?
Who wants to go
that was my final thought.
That was Ryan's.
My final thought will be, as I do every week, and I will continue to do every week, Andor's the best show currently on TV. If you're not watching it, you're missing the fuck out. And I keep hearing about the viewership from Disney being the lowest Disney Plus show, and it's fucking ridiculous. You Star Wars fans, get your head out of your asses. We've been begging for something that's not Skywalker related. They finally gave it to us, and it's fucking amazing. And Andy Serkis, are you fucking kidding me? It was just amazing. Outside of that, I have been listening to some hip hop songs that I've been trying to rank my top 5 most problematic songs that I really, really love. And I want to run through real quick to see if anybody. If you ever heard AMG "Bitch Better Have My Money,"
Yeah,
it's an amazing track, and I listen to it all the time at full volume. And if you don't have it, you should add it to your playlist. In addition to it, 8 Ball and MJG, "Armed Robbery," amazing fucking song about shooting tellers in the face. Very problematic, not okay, but it's an amazing track to listen to. Also, as far as the shit that gets me hyped up, you get MOP, Ante Up, about robbing people again. Amazing track. You can't. I remember being in New York in my dad's rodeo when Funkmaster Flex was first premiering Ante Up back in 2000, and Funkmaster Flex let the track run through once before you start dropping bombs all over the fucking thing and keep replaying it 10 seconds into the goddamn song. So goddamn annoying. Another track outside of those, one of my favorites, and I'll leave it at this one. I think this is 4. "C Murder" is Snoop Dogg, "Down for My Niggas." Is one of the greatest fucking songs ever made. Now, once again, very problematic because C Murder is in jail for the rest of his goddamn life for murder, but great fucking track.
I got 3 that I popped in my head. Crime Mob, "Not Give You Buck."
The start of every fight in 2007.
Yep. Yep.
I finally got dreads.
Tupac, "Hit 'Em Up."
Oh yeah, that's fucked up. I hate that song.
Listen.
And Ice Cube, "No Vaseline."
I was finna say Q.
No Vaseline's not problematic.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't. He's just spitting facts.
Nah, especially what's going on in the world right now.
And
it was come on, man.
They got Cube on. They got Cube on that in the 90s. On the
yeah, because of Heller. Whatever.
I've been listening to Big L all week. So
hey,
Big L was the artist.
Big Picture is one of.
All right, we're not finna. Let's not go.
Just a quick question about Big L. Quick question about Big L. Okay. Was Big L not the artist that every white person in high school that thought that they knew about hip hop would bring to you like it was something new?
Wu-Tang is the number one. It's always Wu-Tang.
Hey, have you heard this dude, Big L?
It's always Wu-Tang. It was like under Big L, but yeah, it starts with Wu-Tang.
Okay.
They love Wu-Tang. Don't you love Wu-Tang, Ryan?
Yeah, it's for the kids.
Who doesn't love Wu-Tang now?
No, but see, that's the thing. But white people look like, hey, I love Ghostface Killah.
Big L was always the introduction. Like also, everyone's first IPAs was Sierra Nevada.
That voice was hilarious.
Wu-Tang.
I love
Wu-Tang was also in Chappelle's show. So a lot of white people got their first taste of Wu-Tang in Chappelle's show. So
yep. I'm gonna make mine short and sweet. I watched The Northman this weekend. Really good movie. I recommend everybody watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a little weird, but
I saw it.
Is that Skarsgård?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. That shit is weird. But
that is Alexander Skarsgård. And I think is he the eldest brother of the Skarsgård kid? I think he's the eldest.
They were acting like Speed.
Yes, but it was like Game of Thrones on steroids in some instances. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed the movie. Cinematography was really good. Loved the last scene. It is a little weird, like I said, but it's a good movie.
Do you know his first movie, Alexander Skarsgård?
No, what was it?
Zoolander. He's one of the assholes pouring gasoline over each other.
Oh, I did know that.
I did not know that. That is good.
And then he couldn't find work for years.
Well,
all right, let's see.
My final thought is this: November 11th, go see Black Panther. I can't wait.
And not Black Adam.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, Black Adam wasn't bad, bro.
You see Black Adam yet?
No, I was gonna go.
Oh, you didn't go?
No, I didn't. The reason I didn't go, I'll send you guys some pictures. We took Hendrix to the pumpkin patch.
Oh, awesome!
And so we dressed him up. He dressed up in the Superman outfit.
Hey,
no Henry Cavill. And we had a good time. That's
awesome.
No Henry Cavill reminds me of The Witcher.
Speaking of The Witcher, He will no longer be playing the Witcher. Post season 4, because he wants to be Superman again, but also it's more so about another movie that he signed up to do.
James Gunn led Superman will be a great movie.
That was one of the worst replacements in the history of replacing an actor that I've ever seen, replacing him with Liam Hemsworth. They could have, if they had gotten Chris, I would have been like, okay.
I've never seen a single episode of The Witcher.
But I haven't either. But I also know the difference in actors in between Henry Cavill and Liam Hemsworth. But I'm going to watch it.
I mean, Henry Cavill didn't look like, when you watch The Witcher, like he doesn't look like he should be there. But he's just a great actor.
That hair looks like terrible.
Exactly.
People want him to play Aegon if they do Aegon's Conquest in like a Game of Thrones.
It's like it's Chiwetel Ejiofor's dreadlocks version for white people.
Yes. No, I saw like the first 3 minutes of the first episode, and that's it. But yeah, that's it.
I watched the first season, and I ain't go back since.
Okay.
That was back when I had time in law school.
Yep. When I was in Delaware, when there was nothing to
watch Andor, people. Please.
I have a week over Christmas where I'm not leaving the couch.
Give me a month.
Actually, anime out right now, and this shit is fire.
What?
It's a new Gundam Wing.
Okay. Like the old Gundam? Like the old Gundam?
No, it's a new Gundam series.
I know I'm saying it's a new, but it's like the old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones. House of Dragon is not on its level yet.
No.
All right, Ryan, let's cut it.
Don't do that. First season compared to first season, House of the Dragon is better.
Yeah, it is.
James, did you have do you have a final thought?
I agree with Kim here.
Okay. All right. All right.
But
you guys can
watch Gundam Wing. If you like it's called Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch of Mercury. My God, that shit is great.
Oh, wonderful. Cool.
Yeah. Nobody probably here watches anime like me, but whatever.
I love you guys. Bye.
Nicely.
That was perfect. I like that.
No, but I'm serious.